everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to Sundance. It's day 2 of our coverage here for Cinefix. Clint, T, and Josh.
Day 2 of us getting snowed on as well as our wrap-up.
It's not as snowy as it was yesterday.
Yeah.
But still hoping a lot of it gets piled on my head. So let's get right into it. What did we see yesterday? T, what did you see yesterday?
I saw 3 movies. Good day. Patty Cakes, which is about a female MC who is a heavyset white girl from New Jersey. I saw
Patty Cakes with a $sign at the end, right?
Yeah, that's Patty Cakes with a $sign, correct? And then
Very
I
important.
saw Brigsby Bear, which is a Kyle Mooney vehicle. Not sure anyone's ever said the phrase Kyle Mooney vehicle before, but here we are. And then the last movie I saw was Marjorie Prime, evidently a very sought-after ticket.
Yeah.
You got screwed on getting into that by the publicist, but I was there already.
They were all like, yeah, we got 2 tickets for you. And then, nope, just one.
No, just one. And I happened to be the one who was already at the theater first, so Clint ceded his ticket to me.
It's all right.
First 2 movies, quite good. My favorite of the 3 would have to be Brigsby Bear, and then Marjorie Prime was a stage play adaptation that was barely an adaptation. It's people sitting around talking for a while. I don't think they added much to it to make it very cinematic. I really feel it was a missed opportunity because it's a cool concept.
Yeah, you got John Hamm as a hologram in that movie, right?
Hologram Ham.
Yeah.
So out of the 3 that I saw, I would say Marjorie was my least favorite. I'm going to keep my hot takes pretty short today because I actually need to leave for another movie. But out of the 3 that I saw, Brigsby Bear was my top favorite of those 3. I really think that they found a unique sense of humor in this movie. I think that the story is super unique. It's just a really fresh, different type of movie while still being sort of within the type of comedy that I truly enjoy. If you're even slightly into the SNL cast, you know, Kyle Mooney, Beck Bennett, those types of guys, check it out because it's really great. And it's also got Mark Hamill, which is awesome.
Yeah. Can't argue with Hamill.
Patty Cakes actually surprised me. I definitely liked it more than I expected to. I was sort of skeptical going in based on the premise because a lot of times when you have the sort of like fish out of water rapper, it tends to mock rap and mock hip hop, which I'm not here for. But I really feel like this movie kind of addressed that very issue and managed to have a lot of interesting commentary on it. And surprisingly, the actual lyrics in the movie were great. And I was sitting there like, you know, I really think I'm enjoying Patty Cake's flow, which surprised.
Kind of want to drive around and listen to this.
All of her rhymes were written by the writer-director of the film. So it was just like this white guy who has this like alter ego inside himself of Patty Cakes writing some pretty sick lyrics. So
That's nice.
I would absolutely recommend it if you have an opportunity to see it, you know, a year from now or whenever.
It just got bought.
Yeah,
Searchlight just bought it,
Just
right?
bought, they're in talks to buy it for $10.5 million, which again, I feel like there's a bit of a bubble going on at this festival, but
Did you see that one?
I didn't see any of those movies. Why am I even here? I
don't
spent
know.
most of my day yesterday actually doing VR. I've been doing a lot of the VR installations here. I think I've done something like 20 of them. I think that these VR installations are getting better. I've complained about them in years past. I think VR movie making is really crappy in general, but there are 2 of them that are really quite good, and I'll just briefly tell you what they are. One is called Dear Angelica. It's available on the Oculus Rift. It's by Oculus Studios, and it is about a 7-minute, very gorgeous environmental sort of swirl mini story about a mother-daughter, and completely caught off guard, tears streaking inside.
Through your goggles.
The goggles after only 6 minutes. It's the best VR installation that I've ever seen. It's
To
gorgeous
be fair,
and
you've been
emotional.
very emotional this entire time.
I have. I'm having a lot of emotions. I'm having a lot of feelings, and so maybe I was just. But I had a companion also watch it immediately after and she had the exact same reaction. Everybody's saying that it's the thing. So in terms of VR stories, that is one to check out. The other one is called Miyubi. It's a first-person 40-minute comedy. It's told from the perspective of a little robot toy. That,
40 minutes.
It's 40 minutes
40
long.
minutes in the visor.
It's a comedy. It is the best 80s nostalgia thing that I have probably ever seen.
Even better than Stranger Things.
I'm telling you, this kid has the most amazing toys all over the place you get to look through. It is a real movie. It is a comedy. It's funny. It's got something to say. And then you have an opportunity to unlock a Jeff Goldblum Easter egg, which is
I'm
kind
sold.
of makes it fun.
Can't
It's
Once
really,
I hear
really great.
Goldblum, I'm in.
Yeah.
But the first true VR movie that I felt like this is a movie and it had to be in VR and it worked. So
Nice.
they might actually be getting that figured out.
And you saw The Big Sick, correct?
I did see The Big Sick. Everybody loves it.
A lot of talk about The Big Sick.
It's really good. It sold for $12 million, which was way, way too much for Amazon to be paying for that movie. It's an awesome 90-minute movie trapped in a 2-hour reel. It's got too much fat in it, and that is because it's within 100 yards of Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
He produced the movie. The director is basically for hire, and the leads wrote it. So Apatow is just bloat is all over it.
To be fair, bloatation is kind of symptomatic of a lot of Sundance movies. You know, a lot of movies that we see here are not necessarily the versions that are going to be released, and hopefully things will be tightened up. But, you know, when you have Apatow Adder on top, it's definitely going to need some fat trim.
I almost feel like they're going to add more to the movie by the time it gets to theaters because it's his. But I'm a grouch about time, and I don't have to be. People love The Big Sick, and it's a good movie. It's really very well done. I don't think it's worth $12 million or 2 hours and 5 minutes, but hey.
I got to go see Lemon yesterday, which was Brett Gelman stars in it. It's by first-time director, a woman named Yannick Bravo is her name, which is
a great name.
Really cool name.
Yeah.
But she directed an episode of Atlanta, and
Bond
she's done a
villain
couple
name.
of. I know, right?
Oh, wow, I love Atlanta.
Yeah,
All right,
and
now I'm intrigued.
this movie is bonkers, and I kind of loved it. It's a really dark comedy about Brett Gelman is this guy who's just a mess, and he's also like on the spectrum somewhere clearly, but so is everybody else in this world. I'm hesitant to even say this, but it felt a little like a really dark comedy version of a Wes Anderson movie. But there's none of the whimsy. Like, these people are real and they exist, and there's little windows into the real world. It's just this pocket of crazy sort of creative people that all have these enormous hang-ups, and they're just kind of hate themselves.
Okay.
But in a way that's not.
I can relate.
In a way that's not like tedious to be around. But there's a lot of fun people in the cast. It's just this really just insane, funny movie, and also similar to several other movies that I've seen. There's not a real arc to the main characters. Lemon is one. There's another movie, a German movie that I watched called Axolotl Overkill. That's about this German teenage girl. Does a lot of drugs, parties, sex with all the people, and it's this weird, chaotic sort of portrait of her life as a German teenage girl in Berlin. And there's no real beginning, middle, and end to it. It's just this like portrait of life. And so Lemon is sort of similar to that way, except like the fun, dark comedy version of the gritty, real portrait of a girl who doesn't give a shit about anything in Axolotl Overkill. And it's got Axolotl Overkill has a really boss soundtrack, which is cool. I don't know if anybody will ever get a chance to see it, though. That's the thing about these Sundance movies is like they come here to Sundance, they play in Sundance, and you gotta hope somebody buys them and distributes them, and sometimes they won't. Sometimes it'll only be like in Germany, and you'll have to really pull a hammy to try to find a way to actually watch it at some point. So I don't know if it's ever going to be out. Lemon, I'm sure will be available somewhere.
I would think so.
It'll be on the Gravitas Venture app for iPad or something.
It'll be somewhere. You'll be able to see it, and it's worth it. It's a lot of fun.
I did want to mention just the Grateful Dead documentary that I saw last night. It's 4 hours long. It's split into 6 parts, so it's meant to be like an Amazon mini.
I'm gonna have to re-edit this so this shows up right after you say I don't have time to spend a lot of time in movies. Complaining that a 2-hour movie should be 90 minutes, but then going to see a 4-hour movie.
But if you're talking about a band with a 50-year touring history and basically a subculture that has that will outlive it by probably another 50 years, I don't think 4 hours was enough. Right. I thought they were going to spend a bunch of time just showing concert footage sort of interspersed, but it wasn't. It was just like information the whole way through. Anybody who doesn't like the Grateful Dead or doesn't know anything about them would actually still be able to follow along.
Okay.
Very well edited. I think the editing is like Oscar level, like some really, really innovative stuff. And it could have been 10 hours and I would have been happy. The one thing I will say about it, it does not shy away from the ultra dark self-demise of Jerry Garcia. At some point I was like, are they going to get into the fact that he killed himself with heroin? And then they do, and it is like...
Okay, so moving on to movies that we're going to see today. T, what are you running off to see right now?
Kicking off my day with another movie about a female MC. This one, a real-life person based on Roxanne Shante. The movie is called Roxanne, who is from Queensbridge. I am from Queens. This one was a no-brainer for me to check out here at Sundance. And then I'm also going to see Band-Aid, which is with Fred Armisen, a comedy about sort of like middle-aged people starting a band. And then the last movie I'm seeing today completely just ran out of my head. I don't remember.
That's all right. I'm going to see A Ghost Story. I'm getting into that, which we talked a little bit about yesterday. I'm excited to see that one. I'm also going to see The Little Hours today, which is a movie about sort of a nunnery back in like the Middle Ages.
Sexy
and then
nuns.
like a hot guy shows up and they all go berserk.
To the bone!
Oh, that's what it is.
That's what I'm
There we
seeing.
go.
Yeah, it's about anorexia or an anorexic or something.
Right.
I don't really remember that either.
Frankly-
but sounded good.
More excited about my silly, sexy nun movie than To the Bone. Okay, so those are some of the movies that we're going to see today. Come back tomorrow for our day 3 coverage to see what we thought about them. Meanwhile, click like and subscribe. Stick around Cinefix for more movie stuff. We'll see you tomorrow.
I gotta go, like right now.
Yeah, get out of here. Go, go, go.